How's it going, guys? Wanted to share my top sources I found online for learning and continue to learn HVAC and refrigeration. Because if there's anything I've learned, it's that you're never going to learn everything in this industry. But with that being said, the number one source I've got tons and tons of good information from and continue to get lots and lots of good information from is HVAC School, founded by Brian Orr. And that whole network of guys, even including their sponsors that actually pay to get airtime on the podcast and their YouTube channel and stuff, those guys are all fantastic, very, very good sources. So HVAC School includes like Brian Orr, Jim Bergman, Bill Spone is kind of the core guys of that network. And they've got a podcast, they've got a YouTube channel, they've got a website. So check it out. They've also got a great app, actually. Lots of good tools and how-tos on there, kind of different things like nitrogen, temperature compensated pressure test. That's a really good tool. So highly recommend HVAC School. They're just, nothing against other sources, but it's absolutely been consistently the number one source I go to and trust above anyone and everything else. So it's honestly at the point where I don't really question almost anything they teach anymore. It's that good of a source. So after that, AC Service Tech, that's Craig Migliaccio. He's also a very good source. He's got the largest HVAC channel on YouTube right now, actually. I actually met him in person in Florida. Had a good long talk with him. He's very, very knowledgeable. He's got a couple books out, all of which I've got, but those are probably the best written books for fundamentals, like the refrigeration cycle and electrical troubleshooting, how to use a meter, etc. So highly recommend him and that channel. He does also have a podcast. I think it's called AC Service Tech. And then there's Ty Brannaman. He's actually from West Texas, and he is one of the most interesting trainers I've seen. He's got a YouTube channel. But he's extremely knowledgeable. He's got lots and lots of videos. He actually has a whole series of classes you can watch. So highly recommend watching his stuff. As far as I know, he doesn't have a podcast, but he's very, very good for fundamentals and also kind of learning how to use things like Measure Quick day to day in a practical way. So I'm a big fan of his also. And after that, True Tech Tools, definitely my go-to whenever I can buy a tool I need. I like to support them because they're closely affiliated with HVAC School. And True Tech Tools, the trend I've seen with them on YouTube is they're very good about sponsoring very good sources on YouTube. So HVAC School is a good example of that. They're closely tied to them. HVAC Time, which is another great YouTube channel that does heavy commercial stuff primarily. That's Holden Schamberger, who runs that channel out of Austin, Texas. He's an excellent source for heavy stuff. HVACR videos. That's Chris Stevens out of LA. He's probably the best source for restaurant service work that I've found. So any YouTuber that is sponsored by True Tech Tools is going to be an excellent source in my experience as well. But that's just been my experience. So I wanted to kind of share my findings with you guys. Hopefully this helps y'all out. Unfortunately, even though I do work for a Fortune 100 company, I've been extremely disappointed in the training that we've gotten. Not necessarily the trainer's fault we've got, or even the techs that are trying to teach us younger guys in the field, but I think the reality is we just need to know so much stuff that there's just not enough time in the day for sitting in a classroom actually learning stuff in a lab or in the field. Even just gotta kind of fly by the seat of your pants, do the best you can to figure things out as you go, reading manuals and stuff, calling people, calling tech support if you need to. But if there's anything I found is that if you have the mindset of teaching yourself and just continuing to learn, especially the fundamentals, and really get a really good handle on the basics, that everything else is gonna come much more easily. But that's just my 2 cents. Let me know in the comments if y'all have any good sources y'all recommend for anything specific.